Yeah, so a little bit about myself. I am a current Amazon seller. I sold over $750,000 in revenue on Amazon so far through private label, retail arbitrage, and wholesale. So that's why I'm really excited to also have this conversation with you guys. I think I can add a lot of value based on what you guys want to hear. And then I currently work at Helium 10 as a brand evangelist. So then I just teach, educate, about all of our different tools and subsets of our tools and features and how you can utilize those to start, scale, and be successful on Amazon.
And you had your bachelor's degree in sports, if I'm not wrong, right?
Yeah, sports administration. So very different from Amazon, but Amazon, once you get bit by the bug, Amazon, you just can't stop. So yeah.
Specifically wanted to, with the help of Helium 10, find out how to identify trends and keywords. Specifically, I want to sell my products on Amazon in the t-shirt category. And in t-shirt too, I want to niche down in anime t-shirts. So before I want to start, I want to validate the niche that I'm in, and I want to see whether what I'm doing is right or wrong, and what's the future cow looks like.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we have some pretty fun, creative ways where we can find that and have some really awesome opportunities. So, without further ado, unless you have anything else, I'll just go ahead and get started. All right, you can see my screen right now. It's showing my Helium 10 dashboard here.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So first off, I know we want to talk about X-ray a little bit, but I want to kind of like highlight some of the other tools can be helpful too. And you said earlier that you wanted to see trends, but also with keywords. So what I want to do is start really broadly and then show how we can narrow it down more in focus. And once we have like maybe like 10 ideas or so, how we can validate or invalidate those ideas. Does that sound good? So we're gonna go magnet right here, which is essentially just you type in a random keyword. Like I'm just typing in graphic t-shirt, right? I don't know if it's a high volume keyword. We're just gonna type in a random keyword and it's gonna pull all of these relevant keywords there for us. So we're gonna search graphic t-shirts. I'm gonna click on get keywords. It's gonna pull all the keywords that are relevant for here. And so what we're gonna see thousands and thousands of keywords, right? But that's not necessarily what we are focused on, because again, we want to identify trends and what this is, or identify like what's the latest like t-shirt we should be making. And so I want to make sure that first off, I see a lot of like t-shirt related keywords, of course, but I want to make sure that I'm looking at only t-shirts, because you see some of these are see women's tops. That's a lot different than a graphic t-shirt, right? That's a lot different. Looking at women's shirts, like that's just too broad. So we're just going to look at, I want to look at all keywords that contain the word shirt, shirts. So I'm looking really specifically at this word frequency right here. I'm looking here, and you'll see why this will come into play later. But right now I'm just looking at keywords that only have shirt, shirts, everything that essentially has to do with the t-shirt. So I'm just looking at this word frequency list. I'm putting in t-shirt, t, tees, t-shirt plurals. That seems to be good. All right, we're going to click on any, and what that's going to do is it's going to pull all the keywords that have any one of these 6 words in there. So we'll click on apply filter. I went from 4,000 keywords down to around 3,300 keywords. So I lost about 1,000 keywords there. Okay, cool. Now that I know I have all the keywords that say shirts, or essentially everything that says what the product is, I'm going to export this word frequency thing. Because what I want to see here is what is the highest frequency of keywords that have the same words for specific trends. So you said specifically, you said you wanted to look at like anime, like maybe niche down to anime t-shirts, right? So we're not going to be able to identify that unless if we see like maybe like 50 keywords, or like 50 keywords that have the word Demon Slayer in it, because that's like an anime that it's popular out there. Like then we know that's a big trending thing, right? So let's go ahead and look. Let me reduce this a little bit here. Let's look at this is the Excel file that we're looking at here, and I'm kind of looking at what are some words that are coming out the most frequently that are stuff that I could identify. So I see Tupac. That's 47 out of the 3,000 some keywords. We're seeing a lot of Tupac, so that's one. So I'm just gonna keep that in mind as Tupac. All right, we're gonna keep scrolling down here. I'm missing it. Yeah. If you scroll down here, I see rap. I see Mario. So maybe because like Super Mario. So put that one is down. And right now we're trying to look at what are some of the top or most popular ones that we're seeing here. See Spider-Man, that could be one. I'm seeing Kitty. So I'm thinking like Hello Kitty. That probably is one. Can I see that right there? So do Spider-Man. Let's look to see if we have any like anime specific ones. See gaming at 15 right there. Let's see, we're scrolling down. Chicago. So that's kind of what we're going to give us our inspiration here. So, and we could do the same thing with if we looked at specifically anime t-shirts. But now that we found like Tupac, Mario, Spider-Man, what I want to do is go back to our list here, and now I want to see all the ones containing Tupac. So now I'm gonna look at. I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna do Tupac. Let's look and apply filters. And I see 53 keywords, right? I'm gonna sort by search volume. I see that's a pretty popular one. It has around 3,000, almost 4,000 searches a month. We can get an idea of if this is like a seasonal thing or not. If we click on the search volume here, and we can kind of see in the past year, you definitely see it's creeping back up, right? And it's peaked around what, end of August, beginning of September, it peaked there. So now we're going down. If you look at all time, is this maybe something that happens all the time? Okay, it looks like this is pretty recent. So then that might show me, I don't know if I want to jump on this, on this ship of being part of Tupac, making sure, because I can see it's going down. There's no historical baseline, because usually our historical search volume will go back 3 years. If it doesn't go back farther than that, that means that was like when it just started. It just started at around like August of last year. So that's something to keep in mind too. We're looking also at Tupac shirt, and if you have a higher level of a Amazon account, then you'll be able to see these brand analytics, which is click share and conversion share, which we can see that for this keyword, I searched around 4,000 times a month. Around 60% of the top 3 keywords for that listing the top 3 listings for that keyword get around 60% of the clicks, and they also get around 60% of conversion share. So this kind of helps us know, like, all right, if I want to, let's say I want to do Tupac shirt, and I see the top 3 ASINs have 75% of the conversions, meaning that if they have 75% of the keyword sales, so that's around what, like 75% of 300 is around like 225-ish, whatever it is. Then they're getting 75% of sales, meaning that after the top 3 ASINs get those sales, there's only 25% of sales left for me to get if I want to be competing in Tupac shirt, right? So this can be, that can also give you an idea of, is it too competitive for me? Is it worth entering in it, right? Because of the click share and conversion share. Because then if the top 3 have a huge majority, then you're just fighting for scraps. You're fighting for crumbs, right? But I do want to go again one step further and say, like, let's pretend that the search volume was really positive, right? That we saw it was going up and up, and it just keeps going up. Let's pretend that the conversion share is also really low and the click share is really low, which means that we have low number of competitors, right? Or that the top ASINs are not the biggest competitors. They don't have the majority of the pie. So let's assume all those, and we're looking at this listing, or we're looking at Tupac shirt, and I see that, all right, these are some of the most successful products. I want to see which ones are the most successful. So then that's where I'm going to go look at X-ray. I'm going to pull that. I'm going to see which ones are some of the best ones that I can see. And then this is going to give us an idea of like where kind of like the top designs. So we're going to sort by sales. You can see that this one does really well for Tupac. That's like Biggie, NWA. Okay, I'm seeing some of these are the ones that are doing the best for Tupac. But now I want to see, how do I stand out? How do I stand out with like a different design, especially when it's same with like anime or whatever. You're looking to stand out. Like, how do you stand out with a different design that people don't already see? And what I think is a really great resource to utilize for differentiating yourself is using Etsy as a source of inspiration, because Etsy can more often than not be the is more often than not is the first one to have new trends. So first, Etsy will have trends first, but then when those trends become really popular, then they make their towards Amazon, because Amazon sellers take ideas from Etsy and bring it onto Amazon. So we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to go to Etsy, and we're going to type in Tupac shirt. And what I want to see is what's the difference between the shirts that I'm seeing here that say that they are a bestseller versus the shirts that I'm seeing here that I know are bestsellers. Like this one right here, this one we know for sure is a bestseller. What's a bestseller on Etsy? Because it's not going to be the same. And we're looking specifically for a badge that says bestseller. So let's go ahead. We're gonna scroll through because then we know like it sells really well. Try to see if we can find a bestseller shirt. Seeing a lot of sales, a lot of ads, but this can also like help you give like inspiration for, all right, here's the difference of these shirts. I didn't see a shirt that was like Friends inspired too. I didn't see like a shirt like this. That's pretty cool. That's pretty funny. You see that seems to be a big trend here because there's also a different shirt that almost takes that Friends theme. So that could be an opportunity. I see that people having Tupac Christmas themed shirts. So that could be an opportunity too as well. I see they have political like Tupac shirts. So that's interesting as well. So this is the type of stuff that like it's gonna give your creative juices flowing of like how can I like kind of find an idea like this, and this can be really easy of like, of course, let's say like you like that idea of like the Friends shirt, but you don't want to like necessarily like just take that design and put it on Amazon. So that could easily be something where you pay somebody on Fiverr to kind of make that design, or you find something that's inspired by it and you just like kind of switch it up if you're good with graphic design. So that can be a good opportunity too, as well for that. If we're looking more so, let's say you want to search on Amazon, but you want to get more in depth of, or you want to be able to manipulate the data. So let's look at, going back a little bit. Let's try to find what are the top keywords for an anime t-shirt. Like if somebody's looking for an anime, oops, I spelled that wrong. If somebody's looking for an anime t-shirt, what are the top keywords that somebody usually searches? All right, so let me fix that. All right, anime t-shirt. All right, t-shirt. Looks like that there. We'll get the searches. We'll find this new keywords that we can look at, and then from there, what I want to show you is black box, and we're going to look in the niche tab because what you can do there, it's essentially the same way as searching on Amazon, except you can manipulate the data really well. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to find the top search volume keywords here. That has to do with anime. So we're just do phrases containing anime. Whoops. I want to see that. I'll apply filters. Okay, anime cosplay, that's a high one. Anime hoodie. All right, see that's around 46,000 searches right there. Right. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to black box. I'm gonna click on the niche tab here. And I'm gonna type in anime hoodie. I'm just gonna search, and what this is gonna do is gonna show me the same search as if I were searching it on Amazon here. But the only difference is instead of looking at the Amazon search results and having to use X-ray to like manipulate data or whatever, I can see it all within niche. I can see the total revenue per month that's done, which is around $5.6 million in revenue for an anime t-shirt. Average revenue per product, which is around 32,000. The average price point around $29. Average reviews. And so this can be really helpful for me because then I can look at these products and kind of break it down. All right, I want to sort by monthly sales. And I see I'm getting a lot of like basic hoodies. So maybe I want to put like a specific one in my, oh, I see this is a big one. This is a Katsuki product. So that can be really cool to give you an idea of like inspiration of like what's ranking really well for anime hoodies. We see like, this is I think from Demon Slayer. So that's also an opportunity there as well of like us looking at it. And it's more so kind of getting an idea. We see Spider-Man stuff again. We're kind of coming back to Spider-Man, even though we saw in our other search results. So it's looking at several different kind of markers of success to kind of get an idea of, all right, what are the top ones? And of course, like if you're looking at specific t-shirts, you want to be somewhat knowledgeable. Like you should know that this is from like Naruto. Like if you're gonna be looking at like getting into this niche, since this is like a Kakashi type of hoodie. But this can also be really helpful for you, like getting an idea of for specific products and get an idea of trends, because then you can look at, you know, sales year over year is plus 28%. So, okay, great. We see that it's not dwindling. Sales trend over past 90 days, 87%. Cool. The pricing trend over past 90 days around only lost about 5%. So it's not been crazy high or crazy difference here. So I really like to see that as well. So it's kind of pulling from all these different inspirations and then using that information to determine what are some of the latest trends that you can use. You can use Etsy. You can even use Pinterest as other inspiration as well. So that can be really helpful for, you know, flowing your creative juices and getting ideas here and there. But yeah, anything else you want to add, or maybe we can something else that you might want to specifically look at more?
uh, Listing a product on Amazon, it takes time to list a
Mhm.
product on Amazon. It's easy for someone to just pin it on Pinterest and list it on Etsy before publishing it on Amazon. So both sites are great indicators of how your products can turn out to be
Mhm.
and which product you can create. So that's a pretty great tip that you give. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I think
uh,
one thing that I really like about Etsy too is like, let's say we look at anime hoodie because that was the top keyword that we saw. One thing I really like is that let's try to find somebody who has a good amount of sales. Okay, so we see this. You see this, what we're seeing here, bestseller. Etsy will only give that if that's like a top seller product for a product. So like if I'm looking for stuff, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for products that have the badge bestseller because it's essentially like an Amazon choice badge. That's what Amazon or Etsy is telling you that this sells really well. Let's see if I can go to the sellers thing. And then what you can do, and not a lot of people like try to do this, but you can click, if you go to the Etsy sellers like seller page, you can click on their sales. And when you click on their sales right there, it's going to show you each and every single one of their sales that they've had. And what this is going to be helpful for is if you see a lot of the same product over and over in these search results, then that's going to give you reassurance that, wow, like this product really sells a lot, right? So we're seeing this seller, we're trying to see like other stuff. So like you could easily, if you hire like a VA to do data entry, if you really wanted to see how many times does each product show up for this seller, of like how many times they're selling it, because then you can get an idea of how many sales are they doing on Amazon, or I'm sorry, on Etsy. And then if you were to take a similar design over to Amazon, you're going to have a lot larger success because Amazon's a larger platform with more customers and more people. And like, it's just a larger marketplace overall. But this can be a really easy way for you to go one step further with Etsy of, okay, I like that design. I want to do something like that. How many sales have they gotten across their storefront? And then you can see it directly from here as well, which is what I really like to see it as well.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but the main difference between Magnet and X-ray is that Magnet lets you explore different keywords for a focus keyword that you enter, and then X-ray further helps you find out the top products that are selling based on the keywords that you enter in, and further data like sales and revenue generated. So
Yes. Yeah. So you like,
uh,
it's going to show you like the top stuff, like in search results. Look at it again here. You have X-ray, which is product research, which is going to give you like all like the financial information, like the sales, the reviews, the dimensions, the FBA fees, all that stuff. But we do have another feature I didn't get into a little bit here, but X-ray keywords, which shows you out of all these products that are on page one for Tupac shirt, what are the top keywords that are driving sales for the majority of these products. And so that then it's going to filter it down. So like you can see instantly, we don't see thousands of keywords, right? We don't only see a small handful, and that's because we're only looking at the top keywords for this listing. And so this can be really helpful of just letting you know, like, what are some other keywords that these products, like let's say I wanted to make a Tupac or rap hip hop graphic t-shirt line. I wanted to have like 10 different t-shirts. Then I need to understand if I'm going to enter that niche, what are the top keywords that drive the majority of the sales for my competitors? Because then that means I'm going to have to make sure that I run PPC on those keywords, I index for those keywords, I put it in my listing, my bullet points, my title, my product description, my backend search terms, all that stuff. And this is going to be really helpful of you knowing like what keywords drive sales for them. And I like that this kind of like does it for you, because otherwise, if you don't use extra keywords, then you're going to have to find like 10 or so ASINs. You're going to have to go all the way to Cerebro. You're going to go Cerebro. You're going to put it in Cerebro. And then once you put in like 10 ASINs, so like we'll just use this one for example, but I really want to show how complex it is. We find a basic ASIN. I got to find more competitors. So then I'm plugging all these in. I got to add the competitors. I'm gonna click on get keywords. It's gonna get all these keywords, but then it's gonna be thousands of keywords. So then I have to use the filters to filter it down and go through all this process to get to only like a small handful of keywords. So when we go through this process, I'm not gonna actually apply the filters, but I just want to show you just for demonstrating just the sake of like how complex it is. I might be messing with search volume. I only want see minimum like 300. I only want title density of those that have 15 in the title density. I only want keyword sales of like a minimum 100. I want word count of minimum 2. I want them to be organic rank. Like you go through all that process, but instead of having to do that, I can just use extra keywords, and it just does all the hard work for you on that page 1 of search results and finding your top keywords. And this can also be a really great way for you to validate of, okay, does this make sense? Like if I'm looking at the seasonality, I can look at the 30 days of the search volume for Tupac, look at 1 year. It's been pretty consistent for the year. Look at all time. Okay, so I can see it kind of ebbs and flows between like 9,000 to 15,000, maybe getting as high as 40,000. And then looking at all these keywords to identify the search volume, and also look at the search volume trend here. Just seeing it visually, we can see for these top keywords, it's all going down. So that can just automatically give you an idea of like, you can set your own KPIs, your own like checklist of, I want at least 5 of my top 15 keywords to have search volume trend going up. Right off the bat, visually, I can see, oh, I don't know if this is a good niche to get into, because there's a heavy majority of the top keywords, search volume is going down. And with lower search volume, that doesn't mean competitors are disappearing. It's still the same competitors. So it's going to be even more competitive to enter this niche. Whereas if I'm seeing search volume trend is all up, then that means, oh, it must be hot. Like I really want to like strike while the iron's hot and get into this market. So X-ray keywords can be really helpful. So thank you for reminding me to bring that up, because this is going to be a really helpful tool.
And I really like the way you have integrated Helium 10 to be, all things Amazon. Everything can be done within your tool. Although I do believe that there is quite some learning curve to it. But yeah, once we master the tool, I think I haven't seen any other tool the exact keyword research process in this detail and specificity like yours.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get nervous of like, how do I know this is the right decision? And you'll never know 100% if it's the right decision to go pursue this product or pursue that. But the reason why I really love Helium 10 is because it takes such a harsh data-driven to validating a product that it helps you to get at least 80% of the way there feeling confident. And then the rest of the 20% is just dependent upon your own foundation of knowledge and being able to get in at the right time. So definitely love that.
Very true. Cool. It helps you push your gut feeling by validating the niche through data and making it easier to make the decision.
Absolutely.
Awesome. It was great talking to you and learning from you, Lem.
Yeah, absolutely. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. But hopefully I think your audience will find a lot of value out of this. And I think this can be a really cool tool. And, I'm sure like as I'm going through it, it sounds like, oh gosh, this is overwhelming. This is kind of a little bit a lot. But keep in mind, we have people like you that's willing to help people out with training and like learning about Helium 10. We have lots of videos at Helium 10 that go really deep and in depth of all these tools. So like you said, there is a little bit of a learning curve, but I assure you, once you get past the tiny little obstacle, a tiny little speed bump of this learning curve, your mind's going to be blown by how much opportunity there is out there. All right. Well, thank you so much.